Alright, let's get into it. Can you believe a basketball player dropped 62 points with 0 turnovers at Madison Square Garden? That is not human, that is art. Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm feeling totally pumped to spill some tea on a basketball icon today. The kind of icon who could turn a jab step into a fashion statement.
So let's talk Melo. Carmelo Anthony. Born in Brooklyn in the mid-'80s, he rose up as one of the greatest scorers ever. 19 seasons, big chapters with the Denver Nuggets and the New York Knicks, and later stints with OKC, Houston, Portland, and the Lakers. He won the scoring title in 2013, set that 62 at the Garden in 2014, and high-key cemented it all with a Hall of Fame nod in 2025. Actually two, one as an individual, and one with the 2008 U.S. Olympic team. Like legacy on legacy.
Personal moment, I so cannot forget this. In college, I went to a debate final as the underdog. People looked at me like cute shoes, but no shot. I was like, you know what? Channel Melo, because he was that guy who arrived ready. Rookie year, he dragged Denver back to the playoffs, a full glow-up. So I walked in like a small forward, posting up the whole room, kept my composure, picked my spots, then hit them with a late-game closer energy. When they read my name as the winner, I swear it felt like dropping a dagger 3 with 2 seconds left. Point is, sometimes you do not wait for permission to be that person. You show up, take the shot, and suddenly, no one can ignore you. Shout out to Melo for teaching me the art of the timely flex.
Okay, pause. Who is Melo on the court, ELI 5 style? Think Swiss Army knife for getting buckets. Triple threat stance, jab step, mid-post footwork. He could face you up, lean you off balance, and elevate before your brain loaded the help. At Syracuse in 2003, he played one season, led them to their first NCAA championship, and won the tournament's most outstanding player. Coach Jim Boeheim later called him the best college player that year. He dropped 33 in the Final Four against Texas, then 20 and 10 in the title game against Kansas. That is freshman takeover energy.
Fast forward to the 2003 draft class, the one with LeBron James, his longtime friend from USA basketball youth days. Melo went third and immediately flipped Denver's vibe. They made the playoffs every year through the late 2000 and early 3000, with heavy scoring and late-game heroics. The man built a brand on clutch. We will get to that tea in a minute. Let's unwrap the Denver era with the key people. Chauncey Billups, a veteran point guard and steady leader, arrived in 2008 and brought order and spacing. That move changed everything. By 2009, they were in the Western Conference Finals. That was the farthest Denver had been since the mid-'80s. The Billups and Melo pairing showed what happens when a top-tier scorer gets a director who knows when to call his number and when to calm the storm. Before that, he had run with Allen Iverson, the electric scoring guard, and that duo gave us fireworks. But the Billups trade was the fit that clicked. It's a perfect example of how a star's legacy is not just talent, it's context, who is setting the table in crunch time, and chemistry you can feel through the TV. Now, New York. In 2011, he landed with the Knicks and picked number 7 because his son was born on the 7th, and also because 7 tied into his high school, 22 minus his Denver 15, which the Knicks had retired for Earl Monroe and Dick McGuire. That is fate math, very New York numerology, total vibe. By 2013, Melo won the NBA scoring title at just under 29 a game, and that April he went on a heater that had real MVP whispers. He even had a 50-piece with no baskets in the paint, all jumpers, which is sick precision.
And 2014, the masterpiece. 62 points at Madison Square Garden, 13 rebounds and 0 turnovers. Read that again, 0. I do not care how you feel about isolations. That is surgical couture shot making. If I were Melo that night, the adrenaline would be living rent-free in my head forever. And yes, that game is still the Knicks and Garden single-game record.
Clutch receipts. By early 2020, he had 26 game winners in the final 30 seconds, more than Kobe Bryant and more than LeBron at that time. Tell me that is not elite closer energy. And on the world stage, Team USA loved him. In Feed the Play, the spacing let him be a quick-trigger sniper. By 2016, he led Team USA all-time in points, rebounds, and games, plus 3 gold medals and a bronze. That is an international slay. Okay, drama. The big unanswered question everyone still gossips about is the 2011 move to New York. Reports said he wanted the Knicks specifically, but the details before the trade, who pushed what behind the scenes, have always been a little murky. My take, I think the preference was real. This is a Brooklyn-born star, and the Garden is the world's most theatrical basketball stage. The brand fit was obvious. He signed the extension the moment he got there, which screams planned move. Still, negotiations get messy and not every leak is gospel, so let's keep the nuance.
And then there is 2012. Coach Mike D'Antoni, the up-tempo system guy, resigned. People assumed Melo forced it, but the extent of that is not formally confirmed. Under Mike Woodson, a half-court coach, the Knicks settled into a slower style that amplified Melo's mid-post wizardry. Correlation does not always equal causation, but vibes matter and the fit clearly shifted. We also have to talk about Houston in 2018. He signed, tried to fit, and 10 games later it was over. The front office praised his professionalism and said it was about fit. That moment was a case study in the modern, analytics-heavy NBA, where a tiny defensive trade-off can outweigh an elite scorer's offense, especially on a contender built around switchable wings. I hated the optics, but I get the roster math. Thankfully, he got a glow-up in Portland in 2019 and proved he could stretch the floor and deliver late-game shots again. He even became the oldest player of the week in the West since Tim Duncan. That is a comeback flex, honey. Now, for pop culture receipts. In 2013, his Knicks jersey was the top seller, which in New York means you owned not just the court, but the sidewalks, the subways, the Instagram feeds. Melo's brand was sneakers, hoodies, and that effortless, I am going to get this bucket confidence. By 2021, he was named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team. By 2025, he was a Hall of Famer twice. And when all the counting stopped, he finished top 10 on the NBA's all-time scoring list. The man did not just score, he stylized scoring.
If you want one clean image to take with you, it's Melo in triple threat, defender on skates, jab, space, bang. It's the basketball equivalent of a perfect red carpet look. Tailored, confident, no wasted motion, iconic.
Next time, I'm diving into another sports legend who redefined their lane. A different style, same big aura. So stay tuned, you are not ready for these receipts.
That's the tea, folks. Remember, life is like basketball. Keep shooting your shot even when the defense is loud. Later.